When Vasudeva saw that his explanations were not convincing Kamsa, to immediately save the life of Devaki, he promised to deliver all their children to Kamsa, even though it was prophesied that only the 8th child would be the one to kill him. This promise pacified Kamsa, and he refrained from killing Devaki. Later, when Vasudeva brought the firstborn child to Kamsa, Kamsa became compassionate and gave the child back to Vasudeva. Understanding that Kamsa's compassion may prolong Lord Krishna's advent, Narada Muni met with Kamsa and explained to him that the demigods were now taking birth on earth to assist the Supreme Lord in his pastimes of saving his devotees and annihilating the demons. These topics are described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 1, texts 49 through 69. Vasudeva considered, "By delivering all my sons to Kamsa, who is death personified, I shall save the life of Devaki. Perhaps Kamsa will die before my sons take birth. Or, since he is already destined to die at the hands of my son, one of my sons may kill him. For the time being, let me promise to hand over my sons, so that Kamsa will give up this immediate threat. And if in due course of time Kamsa dies, I shall have nothing to fear." When a fire, for some unseen reason, leaps over one piece of wood and sets fire to the next, the reason is destiny. Similarly, when a living being accepts one kind of body and leaves aside another, there is no other reason than unseen destiny. After thus considering the matter as far as his knowledge would allow, Vasudeva submitted his proposal to the sinful Kamsa with great respect. Vasudeva's mind was full of anxiety because his wife was facing danger. But in order to please the cruel, shameless, and sinful Kamsa, he externally smiled and spoke to him as follows. Vasudeva said, "O best of the sober, you have nothing to fear from your sister Devaki, because of what you have heard from the unseen omen. The cause of death will be her sons. Therefore, I promise that when she gives birth to the sons from whom your fear has arisen, I shall deliver them all unto your hands." Srila Sukadeva Goswami continued, Kamsa agreed to the logical arguments of Vasudeva, and, having full faith in Vasudeva's words, he refrained from killing his sister. Vasudeva, being pleased with Kamsa, pacified him further and entered his own house. Each year thereafter, in due course of time, Devaki, the mother of God and all the demigods, gave birth to a child. Thus she bore 8 sons, one after another, and a daughter named Subhadra. Vasudeva was very much disturbed by fear of becoming a liar by breaking his promise. Thus, with great pain, he delivered his firstborn son, named Kirtiman, into the hands of Kamsa. What is painful for saintly persons who strictly adhere to the truth? How could there not be independence for pure devotees who know the Supreme Lord as the substance? What deeds are forbidden for persons of the lowest character? And what cannot be given up for the sake of Lord Krishna by those who have fully surrendered unto his lotus feet? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Since the 8th son of Devaki was to kill Kamsa, one might ask what the need was for Vasudeva to deliver the firstborn child. The answer is that Vasudeva had promised Kamsa that he would deliver all the children born of Devaki. Kamsa, being an asura, did not believe that the 8th child would kill him. He took it for granted that he might be killed by any of the children of Devaki. Vasudeva, therefore, to save Devaki, promised to give Kamsa every child, whether male or female. From another point of view, Vasudeva and Devaki were very pleased when they understood that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, would come as their 8th son. Vasudeva, a pure devotee of the Lord, was eager to see Krishna appear as his child from the 8th pregnancy of Devaki. Therefore, he wanted to deliver all the children quickly, so that the 8th turn would come and Krishna would appear. He begot one child every year, so that Krishna's turn to appear would come as soon as possible. Sukadeva Goswami continued, My dear King Parikshit, when Kamsa saw that Vasudeva, being situated in truthfulness, was completely equipoised in giving him the child, he was very happy. Therefore, with a smiling face, he spoke as follows. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The word samatvam is very significant in this verse. Samatvam refers to one who is always equipoised, unaffected by either happiness or distress. Vasudeva was so steadily equipoised that he did not seem in the least agitated when delivering his firstborn child into the hands of Kamsa to be killed. In Bhagavad Gita it is said, Duke shanu vigna manaha, sukeshu vigata spriya. In the material world, one should not be very eager to be happy, nor should one be very much disturbed by material distress. Lord Krishna advised Arjuna, Matra sparsas tu kaunteya, shitoshna sukha dukkha da, agamapai no nityas, tamsta tikshas bharata. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress, and their disappearance in due course, are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O scion of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. The self-realized soul is never disturbed by so-called distress or happiness, and this is especially true of an exalted devotee like Vasudeva, who showed this by his practical example. Vasudeva was not at all disturbed when delivering his first child to Kamsa to be killed. Kamsa said, O Vasudeva, you may take back your child and go home. I have no fear of your first child. It is the 8th child of you and Devaki I am concerned with, because that is the child by whom I am destined to be killed. Vasudeva agreed and took the child back home. But because Kamsa had no character and no self-control, Vasudeva knew that he could not rely on Kamsa's word. The inhabitants of Vrindavan, headed by Nanda Maharaj, and including his associate cowherd men and their wives, were none but the denizens of the heavenly planets, O Maharaj Parikshit, best of the descendants of Bharata. And so too were the descendants of the Vrishni dynasty, headed by Vasudeva and Devaki, and the other women in the dynasty of Yadu. The friends, relatives, and well-wishers of both Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva, and even those who externally appeared to be followers of Kamsa, were all demigods. Once the great Saint Narada approached Kamsa and informed him of how the demoniac persons, who were a great burden on earth, were going to be killed. Thus Kamsa was placed into great fear and doubt. After the departure of the great Saint Narada, Kamsa thought that all the members of the Yadu dynasty were demigods, and that any of the children born from the womb of Devaki might be Vishnu. Fearing his death, Kamsa arrested Vasudeva and Devaki and chained them with iron shackles. Suspecting each of the children to be Vishnu, Kamsa killed them, one after another, because of the prophecy that Vishnu would kill him. Sukadeva Goswami continued, Kings, greedy for sense gratification on this earth, almost always kill their enemies indiscriminately. To satisfy their own whims, they may kill anyone, even their mothers, fathers, brothers, or friends. In his previous birth, Kamsa had been a great demon named Kalanemi and been killed by Vishnu. Upon learning this information from Narada, Kamsa became envious of everyone connected with the Yadu dynasty. Kamsa, the most powerful son of Ugrasena, even imprisoned his own father, the king of the Yadu, Bhoja, and Andaka dynasties, and personally ruled the states known as Surasena.
Demon means for their own sense satisfaction, they are prepared to do anything wrong. Just like this Krsna. Krsna, the elder brother of Krishna's mother, and as soon as he heard an homage from the sky that you rascal Krsna, you are taking your brother-in-law and sister in your chariot to their home in their marriage ceremony, but you rascal do not know this sister's son will kill you. Oh, my sister's son will kill me? Immediately caught her sister. Finish my sister. Bhushdev sir, what nonsense you are doing? You are such a big king. And your sister, younger sister, and she is married in this auspicious moment. Why you are killing? No, she is the cause of my death. But your sister is not the cause of your death, her son. That's all right. But I promise all the sons will be delivered to you. Because it is the husband's duty to give protection. So somehow or other he saved this situation. So this is the demon. He did not consider that here is my poor younger sister, she is just now married, in jubilation, she is going at her husband's home. How auspicious ceremony. And he was personally driving the chariot. But as soon as he heard that, oh, there is danger from my sister, he did not care anything. No relationship, no ceremony, no auspicity, nothing. This is demon. Demon means for his self-interest he can do anything nonsense. That is demon. And demigod means he will consider thrice before doing anything. Just like Arjuna. Arjuna was insulted in so many ways by the other party, his cousin brothers. His kingdom was taken, they were sent to forest for 13 years. His wife was insulted, so many things. But still he was considering whether I shall kill my kinsmen, the other side, they are all my brothers, nephews, brother-in-law, whether I shall fight and kill them. Krishna, I don't wish to kill. Let them enjoy. This is demigod. In spite of the other party, aggressor in so many ways, he was thinking. And here you see Krsna, simply for the news that in future his sister's son will kill him. Immediately he was prepared to kill his sister. And in the marriage ceremony. This is the distinction between demigod and demon. Just try to understand. A demon has no consideration. So, in this age, Kali Yuga especially, demoniac, everything, demons. Godless. Demon means godless.